Hey everybody, Tyke here. Wanted to do a follow-up video about the video I posted. It's been almost a year, crazy, since I posted my video about losing my job at 64 years old. Um, wow, a year. It went by fast. Uh, I didn't get another job. I actually ended up retiring. Just a little quick update there. I've had a couple of videos in there about that, but I just wanted to kind of follow up specifically on that video. You know, it was no fun. Getting laid off, terminated, fired, parting ways, whatever you want to call it. A lot of you shared your experiences and things you were going through, but I wanted to kind of just give you a year in review in about 6 or 7 minutes. So, like I said, I ended up retiring. For a few months, I did look for a job, and I didn't. I guess I can't say I looked that hard. I'm not sure what the thing was. It was a new way of looking for jobs. There were really no live interviews. It was a little uncomfortable. I had a couple of these, but partway through that process, I decided there's another thing I can do, and that is retire. And with the help of my best friend and my wife, and she's just a superstar, brave lady, we came up with a plan to retire and downsize severely and start slow traveling. So I've spent a lot of my year just with our downsizing. 36 years of being together and 36 years of stuff. You have a lot to get rid of. So I spent a lot of time selling off some collectibles, selling things that we're no longer going to need, gifting things to relatives, and just deciding on what we needed and didn't need. Plus, we were selling our home, and that took a lot of my time. So congratulations to us. We did sell our home just a couple weeks ago. Finally went through. It took over 14 months. And we will be leaving in the end of May to do some slow traveling in Asia. But, a lot of it was just about mind shift, and changing how I thought. At first it was a little shocking not to be knee deep in the business world, knee deep in working at a company and having customers and employees, and, how people are. We're all dramatic. So there's always some fire you're putting out, some dragon you're slaying. And that took a little bit of a change because I was always in some form of management, or I had a lot of responsibilities in the jobs that I typically had. So that took some changing and switching gears and taking that energy and that focus and putting it somewhere else. But I can tell you, it was really a relief to not have to deal with that after a while. I mean, really within a couple of days, it was like, man, I'm not going to bed at night thinking about I've got to call in so-and-so tomorrow and read them the riot act, or give them an attitude tune-up, or I've got a report that's due, or I don't know what to say in that meeting, and all those things that go with working all the time. That went away pretty quickly, and thankfully, we came up with a plan pretty quickly on what we were going to do. So I went to work on just getting the home ready to sell and dealing with downsizing. And it was just mental. It's kind of like a mental game. Your attitude really defines what you're going to do. And I just had a really positive attitude about it. I really didn't let it get me down. I was no longer the primary breadwinner, but I felt secure because we've always got along really well in that, as far as who works and how, and we're both hard workers. And I don't think that either one of us thought that I was going to become some kind of couch potato over the whole thing. And there were definitely a lot of things to keep me busy, but even as we sold the house, I'm still busy. I've still got things I'm doing. So you have to kind of just redirect what you're going to do. And that can be different for everybody. Maybe you do need to volunteer somewhere. I mean, I do some things in our church that keeps me busy. Maybe you have a community thing that you are involved in, but maybe if you're not, maybe look into doing something. Go and volunteer. Maybe go down to you know, a nursing home, or see what you can do to volunteer at a school, or maybe you can work part-time as a substitute teacher. There's a huge demand for substitute teachers nationwide. Start a little online business. You know, you just keep yourself busy, and, you know, don't become a couch potato. Don't get, you know, locked in on all the new streaming channels and all the things. I mean, I can really get into some of these shows, and so we even watch ourselves. But, you know, I don't let it define my schedule. So it's really, like I said, about your mindset, about changing your energy and where you're putting it, and, you know, and it's kind of a wide open slate, right? It's this blank canvas that you get to draw and paint the way you want it to be, and there's really no limits. Like I said in the first video, you know, you've been put out to pasture, but there's no fence, you know. So you get to define where that fence is, and it's really empowering and cathartic. It's nice to just kind of like I mean, for over 40 years I worried about work and business, and overnight I didn't have to anymore. And, you know, it was the ideal way for me to end my working career. I wouldn't say that I ended my working career. I just redirected my working career. You know, when I left my corporate job a couple years prior to this most recent job I had, to me that was the end of the career that I thought was really meaningful to me. And then this other job was kind of a stepping stone to retirement, and it didn't work out. So, you know, that's each of our journeys can be different, and it's okay to be different. But I would tell you to trust yourself, give yourself grace. You can do this. And I mean, I'm lucky. I have supportive relatives. I have more than anything, I have my wonderful wife and friend, Tina, and she's the biggest driver of you know, my positivity and keeping going. I don't know what I would have done without her, but I know that not everybody has that. So if you're out there kind of winging it on your own, or you know, drop a line to the chat. Let's talk about it. Let's get some ideas from other people in the community that are going through things. You don't have to be alone. The internet is the great equalizer, right? It's the biggest community in the world. It's the village that supports you. So what I can say to you is, there's no one way to do it for everybody, right? I wish there was. I mean, that'd be great if there was just one way you did it. But that's just not how it is. But at the same time, it's so rewarding because you get to individualize this thing, and it's about what you want to do. And the only limits that you have are the limits we put on ourselves. So stay positive. I'm still going after almost a year after being let go, laid off, you know, whatever you want to call it, parting ways. You know, things fell into place for me because of my age and because of our financial situation. And I'm not a wealthy man, but I'm not worried about it. So, you know, we're doing okay, and you can too. You can make this maybe what you've always wanted to do. Maybe you start a whole new career you go off and be an artist. You wanted to always do art. Go do art. Maybe you wanted to be a consultant. Maybe you wanted to be a counselor. Maybe you don't want to work. You want to be a professional fisherman. Whatever that is, it doesn't matter. It's all about what you do here, and do it with heart, and you'll be happy and successful. So we'll do more of these. Enjoy your time now. Okay? See you guys later.